Welcome back to Exposed. The last student we interviewed was Brandon Bordeaux. He worked at K103 as a programming assistant this past summer, so let's take a look at that now. So now we're at K103 and we're going to be interviewing Brandon Bordeaux, who's their summer student. So let's go see what he's up to.
3:43 in the afternoon for Tuesday, August the 23rd. We've got an old friend in studio with us, Mr. Brandon by the water.
Hello, Abby.
You're a superstar right now. I gotta give a shout out. You're being filmed for Exposed.
What's being filmed?
You're being filmed.
I'm being filmed?
Oh, come on, Brandon.
Oh,
You're a superstar.
I would have never have guessed. As Buck would say, they're gonna put me in the movies. So this is the newsroom. Sean McKeel and Paul Graves spent a lot of time here. I had two newsmen.
So what are some of the responsibilities that you've had at K103 for your summer job?
Well, definitely they're different than what I had done in the years past. My official title is programming assistant. I did a lot more behind the scenes stuff. Like in reality, I think during a 32.5-hour work week, I probably spent 15 minutes about on air, and the rest I was just doing a lot of sideline events. Like I was going to a lot of sporting events. I was going to a softball, any kind of sporting events to do coverage of it, and then go on our website, the K103radio.com website, and you'd see we have a blog section up there, and I'd be posting stories and my personal thoughts, my personal opinions on there as well. And write like a recap being like, oh, he scored with 5 minutes to go, making it 9-7, like something you'd see in newspaper. Whereas I also had my own kind of personal thoughts, like if a goal went in, I'd be like, okay, well, you know, this team is in trouble now. After the score was 4-1, it came with this and that. Oh, this team is really in trouble now. So I think something like that actually adds a little bit.
So did your job here at K103 relate to what you're studying in school?
Honestly, no.
What were you going to school for?
I'm going to school at Acadia University for Recreation Management and Community Development. But I guess in the same sense, it will help me out, because if I want to, you know, maybe work at the Sports and Recreation Unit, I'm going to have to be punctual. My vocabulary is going to have to be strong, and I'm going to have to be good both oral and written with my skills. And you learn a lot like that here.
What do you think of Tehokwirathe Summer Student Employment Program?
It's very vital, I think, to the community, because there's a lot of people that I've spoken to who said, you know, that they wouldn't necessarily be job ready if it wasn't for Tehokwirathe, because Tehokwirathe, in addition to providing the companies with you know, the funds to help hire an extra staffer and whatnot, they also provide workshops, professional workshops, and I went to a couple of them, well, quite a bit actually over the years, and you learn something new, and it's presented from a different perspective as well. So I think that, plus the fact that they're basically providing you the opportunity to learn from quite frankly really professional people wherever you may be working. It's very vital. I think many people would say that the first full-time job they ever got was through Tehokwirathe, myself included, back in '05 with the Turtle Island Theatre Company. So very, very vital, and definitely a big part of the community's development.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for inviting me to your workplace to see all the things you've done.
No problem. Going to see you. Thank you very much for dropping by, and I enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned a little bit of what it's like to work at K103.7 FM, The Monster.
All right, Anna. Since taping that, Brandon actually started at university at Acadia, so the best of luck to him while he's there. For those of you who don't know, I actually was involved with the Kahnawake Summer Student Employment Program as well. I worked at Mohawk TV as a production assistant, and I had a great experience. And I think that's like the biggest reason why I think this program is so beneficial. It's because you get like great hands-on experience that like you just can't get really like while you're in school.
Yeah, for myself, I wanted to be in the field of education now for a long time, and you know, it was a perfect opportunity. My mom had suggested to me, like, step by step you could, you know, kind of get your foot into the door in some kind of institution that offers an educational program. So I started out at Step by Step, and I got it through the Summer Student Employment Program. And from there, I've just, you know, I've worked at Step by Step, Rising Sun, and this past summer, I worked for 7 Generations as a daycare assistant, you know. It's a really good experience for people who want to go into that kind of a field.
How many years have you been participating in the program for?
I participated in the summer student program since I was 17, so that's 4 years now.
I think I've done it for maybe 3 or 4 summers too. But do you find were there any years that you applied and didn't get a job?
I always managed to get a job, you know, somehow, and it was always in the field that I wanted to, so I was lucky for that I was always given the opportunity to have a job along the lines of something that I wanted to do or I was going to school for.
Yeah. Actually, no, last year actually I didn't receive a job through that program, which was unfortunate because like I think it's so great, and I think it's really beneficial for like the student and the employer. You also get like as a student, like you get to go to like the workshops and stuff that they offer. And I don't know, I find a lot of them are interesting, and you also get the day off of work.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it finishes at 3 and then you don't have to go back for your extra hour. No.
But I was surprised that there was like, well, actually it wasn't that surprising, but there was like as I said earlier, there was 107 applicants and only 35 of them received jobs. So I think it is really competitive, but that's kind of the way real life is anyway.
Yeah, it's like the workforce, you know, there's always going to be competition on who. I think that's why they kind of rank the jobs with different like levels of education. That way, you know, you're not a high school and a university student aren't competing for a job, the same job, you know, where it would make like an unfairness.
What do you think some of the disadvantages of having a summer job are?
Well, I think it's definitely more beneficial to have a summer job, but a disadvantage would be, you know, when you're younger, you want to spend the summer outside doing this, doing that, and whereas someone who has a full-time summer job, you have to go to work during the day, and then you go home at night, and you have to wake up the next morning, you know, it's like being in school or being whatever, you know. You only have your weekends off, so in that sense, maybe it
may not be appealing to certain individuals.
Yeah.
But I think it's clearly like the benefits outweigh, because obviously like you're making money, and one thing that is, again, like just an advantage of this specific program is that the wages are set with depending on what level of education you are. So you're really like, and I think they're really good wages.
Yeah.
And it's just like you might get that same job like somewhere else, but you're getting paid like pennies less, and you're doing like a lot more work. So next year, I think everyone should apply that's eligible. You have to be a full-time student, and you have to be returning to school in the fall as a full-time student. Like, even if you do get turned down 1 year, you should apply. As long as you're eligible, you do have to be a full-time student returning in the fall.
So with that, I'd just like to thank everybody for watching this month's show, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it.
If you have any comments, questions, feedback, or if you want to be on our panel for a possible casino discussion, please give us a call at 450-632-6397 or send us an email at exposed@mohawktv.ca. And don't forget, you can watch all the latest episodes of Exposed at mohawktv.ca/exposed. So thank you for watching, and see ya in a month. Ona.